Okay. Top 8 anime keyboards. So the question that all these top whatever top X lists never answers, what criteria are we really judging the things off of? Because like that determines the ranking, obviously. Um, well, I mean, you can't really formalize this, so I just have a variety of metrics. The appearance, obviously, like how it looks, whether it's aesthetically pleasing or not. The sound, how it sounds when they type on it. Realism. This is an important one because I think it should be realistic. I think it should be something you could find in the real world. The source anime, like which anime the keyboard came from. If it's a bad anime, then I'll associate the keyboard with, not quality and other miscellaneous factors. But in general, the entire judging process is pretty subjective. So this is from Magic Kaido, 1412. It's because they write the 14. The reason why there's the 1412 is that it forms like Kaido if you like draw it cleverly. So yeah, it's blank, but not intentionally. I don't think. I think they're just too lazy to draw it in because it's a pretty zoomed in, pretty background prop, so they didn't bother to actually fill it out. It's generic looking. It's part of some all pink laptop. I don't think it does exist. There's an ISO enter. I'm not a fan of the ISO enter. It looks kind of weird. Obviously, we have the standard enter where it's just like a straight line. Like okay, so ISO enter. Uh, it's this shape where it's like okay, that's a bit extreme. Like this shape where it's like curved, and then like American enter. It's just like, it's just a straight line. You see, that makes sense. I don't know. So, I don't like the ISO enter. It looks kind of weird. It's pretty low resolution because it's zoomed in again, and it's clearly just a background prop. I don't even know why I included it in the list. It's because the list doesn't have enough things. The next one, this is Gabriel Dropout. Pretty good anime. Oh yeah, Magic Kaido, Magic Kaido. So, the thing about Magic Kaido is that it's meant for Conan fans, and Conan fans will eat up anything that relates to Conan. I know because I'm a Conan fan and I watch Magic Kaido all 24 episodes. The thing about it is that somewhat entertaining, but it's very tedious. It's the same thing over and over again, which is Conan. So yeah, if you like Conan, you'll like Magic Kaido, but it's not going to be anything life-changing. Gabriel Dropout. So this keyboard, it's actually close up. It takes up the entire frame. It's they drew something. They drew the letters. They drew the hiragana. That's pretty neat, I guess. But it looks completely flat. Like they shaded it, but that doesn't really give it the appearance of like a 3D shape. Like it just the clear is oh yeah, and the same problem with this one. It's also flat. Uh yeah, it does not have a 3D shape to it. Like it just doesn't. And I don't and the caption is like this board with lots of bumps. Well, it's not bumped, is it? It's flat. Yeah, it just doesn't look very realistic. And again, ISO enter in the top right corner. Windows key. Okay, this is Puella Magi. Oh, Gabriel Dropout. It's pretty good actually. I enjoy it. Um, it's pretty, standard slice of life. Cute girls doing cute things. Nothing particularly intellectual, but entertaining nonetheless. And the characters have good interactions. Puella Magi Madoka Magica. Very good anime. It's not anywhere near the same tier as the last two. It's quite good. It has lots of thought-provoking moments. People call it dark, but I wouldn't say so. It has mature themes, I guess. Um, it's the same scheme as the previous one, as in like it's the same orientation and layout. ISO enter again, not a fan. Completely flat. This time that's realistic because like this just does not look like a real like object in the world. This is realistic because it's one of those like laser projection keyboards. It's one of like these things. Like they exist clearly. Like yeah, they're a real thing. I mean it's pretty realistic in that sense. But I've heard that they're pretty bad in practice, as in like they don't like you can tap it and it won't pick up on your keystroke. And just you have no tactile sensation. Like you're clicking on a flat table or whatever. Like there's no press. Like I'm a mechanical keyboard guy. I need the click or the tactile sensation. There's just none of that. And yeah, that's yeah, no tactile feedback. So even though it's a pretty good anime, that's why it beats out the other two. Uh, I don't, and it's realistic. I'm not a fan of the feel. This one's Magic Kaido again. I already described the anime. This time it's blank, but intentional. I hope so because it's in the intro, and the intro is used, a lot of times, like 12 times throughout the entire anime because that's how intros work. And it's blank, and I like blank keys, so that's cool. It's still too flat. Like there's still no texture to it, and it's a full layout. As in, this one was a 60%. This one was like it's cut off, so we can't really tell. This one's at 60% since it's like a laptop. Oh yeah, the keys are also completely whack. Like what is going on over there? Who knows? This time this is a full standard. So this is like the 60% part. Then this is TKL if you cut it here. Then this is just a full size keyboard. Full size keyboard is not a fan. They're too big. There's no point unless you're an accountant or something. You don't need the numpad. Unless you're like a pro gamer, you don't need the this either. So number four, K-On! Pretty good anime. Uh, not seen as a good anime, but in my opinion, it's pretty good. Slice of life, cute girls doing cute things, that sort of stuff. But there's a charm to it that most other anime don't have. I don't know. So again, it's a MacBook. I'm biased because I have a MacBook. It's not realistic because I'm pretty sure MacBooks do not. Apple does not make MacBooks with hiragana. Also, this is a not an Apple logo. Also, uh, yeah, that's not realistic. They wouldn't have the capitalization. Like the capitalization is off. Clearly, the Apple engineers did not design this one. Um, yeah, hiragana. I do not believe Apple makes the keyboard with hiragana. A good amount is different. Yeah, there should be some capitalization here's off, capitalization here's off. There should be some symbol there. I don't think there's an all. I'm not sure. Uh, and it's the first one we've seen that is actually in three dimensions. Like this looks like a board with bumps, which is a good thing. Okay, Violet Evergarden. Uh, again, slice of life, but no longer cute girls doing cute things. This has been one of my friends said that Violet Evergarden had no plot. I disagree with him immensely because there's clear. It has the classic like plot structure where it's like background like we know she's a war veteran after the war, rising action where we learn about her past, climax where it's like the the war is about to break out again and she has to write the letters, and then resolution where she writes the letter to Gilbert and that resolves the anime. Clearly there's the overarching plot structure. Each episode is pretty, day to day, like they don't really have much relation to it, but it built on a bigger plot. You should hear, I don't have a clip, but if you listen, episode one, season two, sorry, yeah, episode two, season one, around 4 minutes in, she types, yeah, it's satisfying. It's like clicky. It's exactly how you would think an old typewriter would sound, and that's pretty satisfying. 60% layout, so pretty good layout. Too much force to press down though is probably the issue because I heard old typewriters took a lot of force. This is Tenki no Ko or Weathering with You. It's low res because this is taken from like a Kiss anime. I actually did go to the movie in person, so it's not like I'm doing anything illegal. But yeah, it's super realistic. Like spot on recreation. Like the apps, the dock, the Windows, like everything is like what like Mac OS and MacBooks actually look like. The problem is that I don't even like the newest like MacBooks, like the keys, the butterfly keys. They break if dust like tiny particle of dust gets in them, they break, and then you have to pay Apple to like fix it. And they're too flat, and they don't have much sensation. But yeah, for number one, unsurprisingly, oh wait, sorry, no. Going back to this, about the movie, I enjoyed it, yes, but I thought the the moral choices in it, the the way it promoted its main character's moral choices is questionable to say the least. I'm not gonna spoil anything, but yeah, I'm not a fan of the morality of the movie. Kobayashi Dragon's Maid, it's slice of life, cute girls and cute teens, but it's focused around an adult, which automatically makes it a bit better. It's pretty. I wouldn't say it's that interesting though. I wouldn't say it's boring, but I wouldn't say it held my interest all the way through. But Kobayashi is a programmer. She writes Python code. It's pretty cool actually. Um, this is very reminiscent of like IBM Model M's giant keycaps, probably spring buckle. Pretty good sound. Listening to it type, and it's used for programming. So it's plus one in my book, which is why it gets our number one spot. Talking my talking a bit about my own preference for keyboards here to get a sense of like how I came up with this presentation and everything. Um, I watched Bakemonogatari. There's a particular ending called Kimono Sakurai Monogatari. Don't quote me on that. Actually, I can just uh Kimi no Shiranai Monogatari. So that's the that's the ending used in the first few episodes, and I think in the last few episodes too. The thing that features prominently is the summer triangle. So Deneb, Altar, Vega, and as you can see, this is I don't know, something symbolic. This is the night sky in the gray, in the dark gray, and then the three stars of the summer triangle for making a triangle. So this is Deneb, this is Alter, and this is Vega based on brightness. And if we convert the brightness to size, this is Deneb, this is Alter, this is Vega. You'll see that Vega is above in the actual sky, but it's below on the keyboard. And the way to rectify that is that if you go stargazing, um, you might choose to lie down like this and look up at the night sky. So if we go back to the keyboard, if you flip the camera and look at it upside down, you'll see that Vega is gonna be up above. Vega is gonna be below, like in the night sky. And obviously, the denim and alter sort of flip positions, but whatever. Oh, and I got Hiragana keycaps because they're cool. But the problem is they're in XDA, and XDA is slightly taller than DSA, so it's hard to see from like this top-down perspective. But actually, like these are not significantly, but these are noticeably higher than the DSA. Alright, so now the video turns into a general keyboard vlog discussion thing. Originally, I planned to have it darker black, but color constraints made it lighter gray. That's whatever. So the keyboard itself is a Ducky 1 2 Mini. Ducky, okay, this is a very oxymoronic name. Ducky is the company. 1 is a specific line, I think. 2 is a product in that line of 1. And Mini is 60%. So missing the TKL. The case is a KBD Fans 60 KBD Fans is like a retailer like Amazon. 60% aluminum low profile case. Low profile, so it's thinner, and it's aluminum, so it's metal. The reason for that is that ergonomically speaking, you shouldn't actually like the Ducky case is permanently angled at like sort of like a 20 degree, or I think it's 20 degrees. But ergonomically speaking, it should actually be at a negative angle, like something like this. That is a bit strange, so I just have it flat, so 0 degrees. And the thing about this case is that you can easily just not have metal feet on it and it will be flat. So the keycaps, I got these from Amazon. They're just PBT. So PBT is a specific material versus ABS. ABS is used in Rubik's cubes. Yeah, ABS. So ABS, while it's used in a lot of plastic materials like Legos and Rubik's cubes, it shines easily. As in, if you touch it with your hand oils, your hands have a certain amount of oil, and over time, what will happen is that it will undergo something called shine, where it actually will look like brighter, or like parts of it, because you've rubbed it off and like shined it up. But for PET, it doesn't have the same shining effect, or at least it's more reduced. And DSA is the profile. So keys have a certain profile. If you look at these from the side, they're basically flat, as in this key here is exactly the same height as the key here. For the standard profile is OEM, and for OEM, it's actually like slanted a bit. Yeah, we get like the keycap profiles here. OEM, there's a slight like down and then up, so like curves next to your hand or something. GSA, again, flat. And there are others, but so one of the advantages of flatness is that I guess it looks better, just like aesthetically, and yeah, this, you can see that this key is slightly more spherical than this key. It's on the F and J, so you can feel it, like instead of the bumps, you can just feel it with your finger that this is flat and this is where you should put your index finger. What else? Oh yeah, the blue keys are not from Amazon. They're from Pimp My Keyboard specialty shop. This is a MagSafe cable. It disconnects. It's like some cheap thing from AliExpress, and it magnetically attaches. So it's very easy to connect and disconnect the keyboard. Yeah, I actually did some math. So yeah, I tried to get the ratios. Basically, I tried to find some sort of math thing to justify it. It didn't really work out. But yes, all the stars are in the A spectral classification. Then Vega is A0. The second number is brightness, I think. Like, I mean, the spectral classification is a brightness thing, but it's like this is more bright than this. A0, Vega is A0, Denim's A2, Altair is A7. Actually, no, it's not brightness. It's, I want to say, I don't remember where it is, but you can search it up. And yeah, so they're all light blue, which means that this is accurate, I guess. Costs a lot of money. I got money from a program competition or something. Yeah, it's a nice keyboard. It's actually an RGB keyboard, but I very rarely use the RGB feature because, I can touch type, and I'm working on blanks. Like, what do I need to see using illumination? That's pretty pointless. Oh yeah, why 60%? Why have less keys? First of all, where are my arrow keys? The thing about Ducky is that it's macro based, so I think FN plus like IJKL is your, like, this is up, down, left, right. So that's what I use actually primarily, more and more. Like it's pretty easy to just go from spacebar to tucking, and you have your arrow keys here. There's actually like a lot of different macros, like volume up, volume down. You can search it up. And then, but I also have, the thing is, like, these keys are actually pretty random. This is right shift. There's the left shift. This is FN. This is like command or something. Again, there's control, alt, option, command, control, option, command, shift. These are all redundant. So actually, these are, and they're just built-in arrow key navigation. So this is up arrow, down arrow, left arrow, right arrow, and I don't need to press any other buttons like FN because these are just down, left, up, right. So yeah, the only thing you really lose in a 60%, for like going, so like less and less people are actually using full-size keyboards with like a numpad and going to like a TKL or like a 10 keyless, right? The only thing you lose from a TK-less is the arrow keys, and then like the home and delete. Those ones are pretty useless. Like I just use like command up arrow or something like that. So using this trick, 60%. And the benefit of that, like why have less keys? Well, first you save money on keycaps, but that's like a few cents. The major benefit is that you can have your mouse closer to your keyboard, and so like you can, it reduces the strain of like constantly repeating this motion of like going back and forth if it's as close as possible. So if I had like a full, and anyways, like if you don't have much desk space, then this takes up less desk space. If it was like a full size keyboard, my mouse would be all the way out here and I'd have to go like that. What else? The one problem I have with the Ducky keyboard is that it's oh yeah, I'll include sounds and stuff right now. But the one problem I have with it is that it's not open source, as in the hardware is not open source and the firmware is not open source. Hardware is just, the PCB, the components themselves, and firmware is like what software, like, Ducky macros, that sort of stuff, what software runs on the keyboard. And so, future plans. There's the Gingham keyboard. Yeah, this is it. Okay. There's this Gingham keyboard. Pretty cool looking. As you can see, just straight up electrical components at the top here. So the idea is that it's a through-hole keyboard, so all the components are through-hole components, like like the classic electronic breadboarding type stuff, and you solder it into the PCB. The other thing is that it's open source hardware and open source firmware. So this is the documentation for the PCB. And the firmware is going to be QMK firmware, so the open source library for keyboards. So open source hardware, open source software. Why does that matter? 2 reasons. Programmability, because you're able to customize your keyboard however you want. You can write arbitrary C code and load it onto the microprocessor. Second thing is just, I like open source. It's I find it, I think it's a goal we should strive towards. So as much as possible, we should try to eliminate proprietary technology. I think Gingham, it's sold out actually like almost everywhere. So the only way I could get it is going to some German thing. It has it in stock. Yeah, that's about it. I might have a build video later at some point.